Yo, what's poppin'? Neil Hobson, Neil Times, Inspire Young Adult Podcast on dating and relationships. So excited to be here with a group of friends, and we're just pumped. How was your week going, by the way? Everything good?
Good.
Feeling all right?
Real good, yeah.
Swell.
Yeah.
It's going swell.
Weather's
That's a new word for
great,
today.
yeah.
Here's the deal. Okay, so we're talking about dating relationships, and I want you to introduce yourself. This is like almost like a profile on a dating app. Just say something great about yourself. Maybe sell yourself if you need to. Do what you got to do. We're gonna start with Ryan. What's up, bro?
Yeah, what's up? My name's Ryan, and this is not a profile for my dating app. However, I am engaged, about to get married. Roughly 66 days. Who's counting, really? But yeah, I've been coming to Church on the Rock for 25 years, and I am 25. So yeah.
Yes, born in the pew.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Introduce your lovely, your fiance.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
this is my fiance, soon-to-be wife, Nicole Sherrod Harvey. And yeah, she's 25. Been coming to church for about the same time, pretty much. Quite a while.
Yeah. I've known Sherrod and your sister Nishan for a long, long time, since you were young tykes.
Yes. I
And,
started, I was 10 years old when I came here
Oh, my
for the
goodness.
first time. So
Wow.
I am 25 as well.
Wow.
Yes, and I do hair. And I've been serving as long as I was able to. I started in the nursery, and I've been a little bit of everywhere since then.
Yeah. And Sherrod, should I call you Sherrod or Nicole?
Sherrod is fine.
Okay, so I've known her way back. So you have the dopest shoes ever.
Thank you.
How many
thank
shoes do you have, by the way?
I don't know.
That means a lot. Jeez. Take a wild guess. In your current rotation.
Do you mean just tennis shoes or like all my shoes?
Just go with tennis shoes, because you have a lot
I
of those.
probably have like 30, 40 pair of tennis shoes.
They're all clean.
Wow.
10, 5.
Yes.
On my life.
I know.
I still wear kid sizes, so I'm blessed.
Yes.
Cheap, not cheap, less expensive
Yeah.
than.
Hey,
That is helpful.
for Ryan.
Thank you.
Oh man, Karen, talk to us.
Yes, sir. My name is Karen Ambrose. I have been a member of Church on the Rock for over 20 years, 22 years around there.
Wow.
I've been serving pretty much since I've started coming here. I work as a manager for a wonderful company here locally as a director, and my current status is single.
Hey.
For now.
Talk to him. Ready to mingle. Holler at your girl. So, Joe Flo, my guy. Known him for a long time. What's up, bro?
Yeah. What's up, guys? It's Joe Flo. I am 21 years old. I'm a college student. I've been serving here since I want to say high school, but I've been here since I was a little kid. Grew up on the dance team here, and now I serve in Uprising. And I am single, but I'm not sure if I'm looking. I'm just coasting. I'm coasting.
Joe don't be phased,
living your
boy.
best
He's not
I'm
phased
not worried.
at all.
Living your best life.
My goodness. I've known Joe for a long time as well. I've known everybody here for a very long time. And, Joe, you're a part of the Red Bull wing team.
Yes.
Doing some really dope things with Red Bull. So, yeah, excited to see where that's going to take you. So, my name's Neil. People call me Neely Time. And I'm a husband, a father. I love Jesus, and I'm in radio. I'm a live DJ. I'm a radio DJ, a dance choreographer. Help lead young adults, so do a number of things. But my passion is really just connecting with people. So I'm excited to talk about dating and relationships. It's a touchy topic, because everybody's in a different place, right? And we're no experts in dating. We're all in the process, and we're all on this journey. And hopefully we can encourage you through this podcast and maybe answer some questions that you might have, or encourage you to keep on going, or maybe make a U-turn, or take a detour, whatever it is. But we really believe God's going to speak through you. Our mission here is to lead people to a God who is for them and help them discover His purpose for their life. We want you to know God, find freedom, discover your purpose, and to make a difference. That's right. That's our passion. That's our mission, our vision for Church on the Rock, because we build our lives on the Word of God. Matthew 7:24, when the winds and the waves, hit our house, our life, We want to be founded on the Word of God. Because, the thing is, we're going to have some tough times in relationships. That's just how life is. And whether it's a personal relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or a business relationship or a friendship, relationships are happening, and the most important thing aren't things, they're relationships. So that's what Satan's going to try to attack. And that's why it's important for us to kind of dive in a little bit and talking about relationships. So we're just going to jump in here with a broad question. First of all, a lot of Christians, especially Christians and non-Christians, want to know, where do you actually meet people? Say if you're interested, like say you're single, ready to mingle, you just want to meet some people, not really even saying it's going to go, to the step 2. Like, where do you meet people? Somebody help me now.
I mean, so we met at church, and I feel like that's the best place because, one, it was my, I know that we grew up under the same teachings. Like, we have the same values. I don't have to worry about finding that outside of the church. So, I got to say the church.
Church is a good place.
Yeah.
Well, since I do hair, I get to run across a lot of different people all the time. So there's always people kind of where you work, or when you're a college student, you meet a lot of different people from everywhere.
Yeah. Joe, do you go to what? Lindenwood?
Yep, Lindenhood.
Lindenwood. Class of 06. Oh my gosh, that's so old. I should have said that. We were like, whoa. Back in my day. Is that a good place you feel like to meet people as college?
It would be for college, for most college students. For myself, I would say no.
Why do you say that, Joe?
I feel like you will find the right people or the right person on your path. And as long as you're going in the right direction and doing what you need to do, you're going to find the same person who's doing what they need to do, and there will be no confusion there.
Yeah.
I feel like on my college campus, I can't say for all colleges, there's a different environment there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool people from all around the world. I have a lot of friends there, but just not anybody that I have seen to be kind of doing their own thing like I would like.
Right. There's a lot of international students there as well.
Yeah, it's like 70%, so it's really cool. I have like a best friend there from Japan.
Yeah,
So it's dope.
I remember back in the day when I went to Lindenwood, there's this girl from Panama, right? My brother and I, we were trying to talk to this girl. So we're trying to learn Spanish and all kind of stuff.
Did you
Right.
go to church?
You know what? There's a number of girls that I did bring to church. We're not going to talk about that.
Let's talk about this
No,
deal. Let's
I
take
was
it
doing
back.
the Lord's work. That's what I was doing. As a missionary. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
So Karen, you're in the business world, and
Yes.
you're not in college anymore. So where do people meet quality people?
I don't know. To be quite honest, I'm not one. For me personally, I'm not one to seek it out. I've dated people from work. I highly do not recommend doing that.
Right. Especially if it's against policy.
Absolutely. But from church, you meet people in different areas. But for me, I kind of feel like this: the Lord knows where I'm at. He knows how to get them to me, and
True.
as long as I'm being obedient
Amen.
and where I need to be, then it'll come at the right time.
You do typically need to get out of the house at some
Yes,
point.
that's true. That's
Right, you
true.
have to step out somewhere to be seen. You know what I mean? Unless it's like the Amazon man or the UPS man or
You never know, right?
the charter cable
Right.
and internet.
It makes it difficult because typically, like in the environment that I work in the secular realm, people are going out to clubs and going to bars and doing all these things, and that's not my scene.
Right.
So it does make it a little bit more difficult. So I just kind of trust God and not that I don't go out, I do, not to clubs or bars or anything like that, but I go out to social events and do things with people, and if it happens, it happens.
Yeah. You know what? Kim and I were thinking about you. My wife and I, we went to Chicago recently. We went to this Sunday service with Kanye West, and there was literally probably 100% young adults there, and they're mostly dudes as well. And we were like, dude, Karen would love this. Got Jesus, Kanye, and a whole bunch of fellas that hopefully love Jesus. You know, this is there. And it was.
That's my scene. That's my spot.
I know.
Those brothers,
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Did I say that?
Listen. So I have a question for you. How do you guys feel about dating apps? Even if you guys are engaged, but how do you feel about dating apps? Like, because this is the thing though. 25 million people use dating apps every month. 25 million. Now, it used to be kind of like a taboo thing, like, oh my gosh, you're on a dating app. And now there's more and more dating apps because, like I said, it's harder and harder to meet people in person. So they figure if you put a profile together, put your best self, your best package together, present it to the world, you can get some apps and some dating, clicks and whatnot. So how do you feel about dating apps?
I'm scared.
Scared? Why are you scared of dating apps?
Because I feel like if someone were to message me and I didn't like them and they just like blew me up, I would like hurt their feelings. Or it's like I feel as if I like swipe right on somebody and we're talking and they're like crazy and I just like ghost
really
them and see them in person. Yeah, and see them in person and be like, oh no. So I'm just like scared. I guess you could say I'm scared of the apps because of the commitment, like the commitment behind it.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah. Karen, what do you think about dating apps?
They're very popular. Like you said, they're growing. I'm not a fan because I don't want to compete with other women. I feel like.
But isn't that what you're doing in the real world, though?
Well, exactly, which is why I don't want to have to do it, via app or via whatever. It's hard enough as like dealing with people in real life and these dudes out here who, want to have their cake and eat it too, that, to do it with, virtual people out there somewhere in the world, like I'm not about that. I don't feel the need. I don't have to compete.
Can I push back a little bit?
You can,
okay.
Please.
So I've never been on a dating app because I think they came after, when I was, with Kim. But the thing is that I feel like dating apps is just a bigger pool. Now, you want to be on the right dating apps because some dating apps lead to certain things typically, but I think some dating apps will allow you to. There's this one called Loco, right? And that don't sound good, does it? Let's put that together.
Exactly.
Research. Point taken. But it basically is called Loco, and you can actually put together a video. You have video dates. So you have this video you put together, like, hey, my name's Karen, and I'm this, and this. It's like a 15-second video. And then the person can actually see who you are, actually see your mannerisms, and see if it actually gels and not just a picture. And then they can ask you for a date, and then you can have a video chat date. Okay, and you can set a couple. Some people are setting like they set aside an hour and have 4 dates an hour, just to kind of get through it. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing, but that's why it prevents you from being catfished and stuff like that.
I mean, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. That makes it a little bit more comfortable to be able to actually see someone in person and on a video and stuff like that. But still, I don't want to compete. I really don't. It's just not my style. I don't feel like I have to. So
that's good. That's good. Now, if you guys, Ryan and Sherrod, if you all met on a dating app, do you think you'd be in the same place you are today if you met in a dating app as opposed to meeting in church and developing?
I don't think so necessarily. Why
do you say that?
But I mean, unless you disagree, sure.
Smart man.
I was just, I didn't know. No, I don't think so really, because I feel like there's been a long time. Like we've known each other for a while, but not like on that personal level, really. Like we, when we first started serving together in the same group at youth, we were never like together. Like we were never talking and dating, so to speak. But I think we've been around each other enough, so I don't think dating apps would have been good, right?
I would say no, because I wouldn't be on a dating app because people are crazy.
Yes.
And
Facts.
beyond that, him not knowing like who I am as a person first, we wouldn't have gotten far because I don't like texting, so the communication would have been bad. He would have she don't even like me, so it just wouldn't have gone anywhere.
So I guess dating apps are not. Your personality will either help that or hurt that. So that makes sense.
Yeah, like I hate texting too. it's so much wasteful energy. Like, call me or just meet me in person. Like, I hate texting people, which is also why I don't do that.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now, if you want to, be on a dating app, I encourage you to do your research. Make sure that, it's the best place for you, not just because everybody else is doing it. But one of the reasons I'll bring that up is because sometimes, we've all been there. We get dressed up and we look good and we feel like, man, I wish I could go somewhere because I'm looking this fine, right now. I wish I could, spread my fineness. And, sometimes you want to be seen. And I don't know if the dating app is the remedy for that, but that's why I ask you, like, where do you meet people? Where do you go? You know what I'm saying? So
Christian mingle.
Farmers only.
Go to the
Farmers
Schnooks. Here's the thing, though. When you're dating, you're going to encounter some great people, some people that maybe are not for you. What are some of your dating deal breakers? What are some things that are like, nah, not happening? You could be cute, but this ain't working. Or you can not be cute, and that's a deal breaker. What's one of your deal breakers that you have when you're dating?
Are you including the relationship with Jesus and all that, or are we going to set that aside and then pick 3 because that's a given?
Well, we'll mention that, yeah. So they have to have a relationship with God.
Absolutely.
What does that mean, though?
I want them to, basically share the same principles that I have. That's important to be able to do that. Just hear God's voice, have a real relationship. I mean, really read your Bible, really tithe, really study the Word. Do it for real.
Gotcha.
Not just say anybody can say they're a Christian, pretty much. But where's the fruit? How are you acting? What's your life like? What are you doing?
Mm-hmm. So after that, they say, hey, I'm a Christian. I'm walking with God. What's another deal breaker where you're like, okay, what else? What else is on your list?
I would say, lifelong learner. They have to be wanting to grow and striving to go, reading, whatever it may take, listening to podcasts, whatever it may take. That's important to me, is to be able to grow. The third thing is communication. Communication is connection to me.
That's good.
So that I need them to be able to communicate and maturely communicate and understand boundaries and things like that and work on that. So
that's good.
Those are important to me.
That's great. Ryan?
I would say negativity, like too much negativity or just like stagnant, kind of like you said, like, wanting to grow and learn and stuff. Like, I don't want to be, because, I don't want that to hold me back. And
what do you mean by negativity? Is it like the person just always being down about stuff, or she's got drama, or? Yeah, just
everything in that area. Like, if someone, says something simple, something positive, like, you just got to find something negative about it.
Gotcha.
I don't really like that.
Gotcha. You want a glass half full type of
gal. Yeah.
And you got one.
I do, yeah. You always full.
Oh, that's good.
Joe, what do you think? A dating deal breaker for you, bro?
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise? Oh, goodness.
Cannot do it.
I'm with
and
you,
I'm not
Joe.
talking about, like, the actual sauce. Is it a sauce?
Condiment.
I'm not talking about that. I mean, like,
are you talking
personality-wise.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Bland.
So, bland.
Like vanilla?
Nope.
I call it vanilla. It can't be vanilla.
Yeah, like,
Carrot.
no personality. I do not like mayonnaise. And I feel like mayonnaise on all sandwiches is so nasty.
What? That's like,
And-
I can't eat a sandwich without mayonnaise.
Well, when I mean mayonnaise, I just mean bland.
Yeah.
So somebody who is a person, like, no.
You want some spice?
Yes.
You like spicy.
I like that the spice. Like the flavor. Like the flavor has to be immaculate.
Oh.
If it's not,
Heard you.
then it's mayonnaise.
All right.
You do not want mayonnaise.
That's true. That's true.
Huh.
That's true. Okay. So, you want something that somebody's going to challenge you?
Somebody who's gonna make me say, "Oh my gosh," or somebody who, not like impresses me, but somebody who I feel like they're different.
Yeah. It brings something to the table?
Yes, and their own table.
Oh.
I like
Sorry,
I
I'm
like
getting
that.
deep here.
I like that. I like that.
Sorry.
Don't just come to the table. Bring your own table.
Yeah,
Sheesh. Wow. I like
a
that.
Say
table
some
bigger
things
than
about that.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to challenge you. Somebody's going to, not just necessarily mooch off of what you got going on,
Exactly.
but to say, hey, I got dreams and ambitions and a calling on my life as well.
Yeah, and I look for that in friends, relationships,
Yeah.
anything.
That's good.
That's what I kind of base it off of, like what I see, like what I look for when I am looking, which is not often,
Sure.
but that's the things that I kind of look for.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Sherrod, dating deal breaker for you when you were out there in these streets, in these Christian streets.
Just flat out disrespect and being small-minded. I was just raised different, so we are risk takers and we do what we got to do. So I need somebody that's willing to learn or grow or do what they got to do to get what they want.
I like it. I like it. I like that you guys know, what are some of those deal breakers for you, what you're looking for. And that's the best way to get what you want is when you know what you want. If you don't, you just kind of, settle for anything. So some people are anti-list, some people are pro-list. I'm not saying one or the other, but what I am saying is that you do need to know what are some qualities that you have in mind that you would like, that would complement you, and then start being those qualities on your list. And then it's easier to recognize who those people are because they're not trying to complete you. They're adding value to who you already are. So, if you are a Christian, not everybody that's listening that's cool. But if you are a Christian, sometimes it could be awkward dating Christians, okay, for a variety of reasons. Have you found it awkward at all when you're dating another Christian? Like, you know what I mean?
It's my first one.
First time for everything.
No, it wasn't awkward, but I think when Christians are too holy, like not just like.
What does that mean?
I don't mean like you really have a relationship with God and you're digging deep, but I mean like every little thing is like, oh no, oh God wouldn't like that. Like just be real. Like when they're not real with themselves and they're just everything is just like, I can't because God, or I don't want to sound like I don't want you to put God first, because I definitely do, but just like be real still.
Yeah.
And people, when they're not real, it's like, okay.
We're still human. I mean, we
Right.
have a flesh, like we fight battles just like everyone
Right.
else, just because we're believers. So there is that natural aspect to things, not just the spiritual. So
I think by holy you mean more so religious.
Yes, being too religious,
Yeah.
that's
Gotcha.
what I mean.
Yeah. So somebody that, doesn't go to the movies necessarily, and that's okay if you don't.
Right.
But you want somebody that will still live life and enjoy being a Christian, but still have boundaries.
right.
I like that. I like
Absolutely.
that. What about you, Joe?
I think it's Ako Taco when you're dating a different Christian and then you see your parents sitting behind you, or in like after service and everyone just looking. But maybe that's just me.
I think how you try to impress her is different being in the church.
Yeah.
Like for me, like serving in youth, it's like I'm gonna pick up 4 chairs. Like and I'll make sure you're looking and I'll,
That boy serving.
Yeah.
It's like you can't be in the same groups. You gotta stay separated because you don't want to feel like you're always around each other.
Side hugs.
So,
hugs.
side hugs.
No.
You know what? My wife, Kim, she gives a mean side hug. It took me months to get a full frontal. Is that what we call it? Seriously, though. I'm
Give
like,
it a shoulder.
side hug. We engaged. Can our brother get, a little huggy hug? My goodness, I got all hip. That's all right, though.
Where's Kim
we
at,
left
man?
room for Jesus.
She's got a side. Where's
Lots
Kim
of
at?
room.
Leave room for Jesus.
Which is good. But Ryan and Sherrod, what do you think changed when you guys got engaged? So from dating to taking the step to get engaged, what do you feel changed in your relationship, if anything?
Yeah, I think definitely how we saw each other. Like it was like, oh, this is happening. Like we're doing this.
Yeah.
I think a lot of questions changed too. Like
What do you mean?
The type of questions that we got from other people. A lot of people expected different things. I know when I was at work, I said that I got engaged, and she was like, "Oh, is she pregnant?" I was like, "No," and she's like, "Oh, then why are you getting married?"
Yeah.
I was like,
Excuse me?
Like,
Wow.
I just had to explain a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like, people expect us that we live together. I was like,
Gotcha.
no, I had to explain that.
Yeah.
It's just so many things you have to explain to people who, some in the church, some not in the church. So
Our culture is opposite of, what we've been taught and what we, believe. But, it's important to be a witness and explain. It's like, hey, this is why. And not to be condemning or anything like that to anybody else, but to say, hey, this is why I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. And be okay with it.
Yeah.
Which is good. I like that. Shirai, what do you think?
I would say the things that we focused on changed.
Okay.
Like, it was like, oh, this is cool. Like, whatever, this is cool.
Like what?
Like, just being first when we were just talking. Okay.
So there's stages to this.
We were just talking.
I
So
thought I was cute.
no, Ryan liked me. He didn't want to admit.
Whoa,
My friend like you.
He didn't want to admit it. So that was like whatever, and then we started like dating, and it was like, oh, okay, so like, you know, we gotta work on like, I don't know, communicating more and stuff like that. But then when we got engaged, it's like, okay, no, this is real. Like, I have to make sure that I, you know, am being the right woman for him, because well, we got, you said, a little bit over 60 days before we're living together.
Yeah.
And I've never lived with a guy before, so this
Yes.
is, you know, it's different. So what we're focusing on is different. And I think, like, personally, a lot of people, like, told me, like, oh, no one will ever wait for you. That's what, like,
Who says that?
so many people have said that to me.
Wow.
Like, no one's going to wait. Like, you got to, you know.
And you mean by waiting, you mean by saving your
Yeah.
sexuality before marriage.
Right.
I'm sorry, that's not your sexuality, but
Yeah.
not having sex until marriage.
Right.
We all have sexuality. Put that in a box.
No, I first heard it from a guy, which was like, oh, that's weird, but okay. He's like, oh, he ain't gonna wait for you. Nobody's gonna wait for you. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
And then when I went to cosmetology school, I'm with all girls for the most part, and they were like, what do you mean? Like, I was like, well, you know, this is how I was raised. And they're like, no, that's not going to work. Like, he'll be doing something else, or nobody's going to wait for you. And, like, when I got engaged, they were like, oh, my gosh, congratulations. And I was
Yeah.
like, see,
Yeah.
this could be you.
right.
I like it.
Yeah. I think it's awesome that you guys are waiting to have sex until marriage. I
Thank
think
you.
that's a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's rare these days. And if you haven't, hey, we can start over again. It's
Right.
it's you know, there's grace, there's forgiveness. You know, God is good in that area. But there's so many perks to waiting, to saving yourself, to you know, and it's really a purity thing. It's a mindset thing as much as it is a body thing. And there's so many things that so many hurdles that you don't have to jump over when you are married to somebody, and you can just, you know, start with a clean slate. So I think it's great. I think it's great. So what are your thoughts about dating multiple people at the same time? Is this a no-no, or is it okay? Because, you know, like Shirai said, there's talking, you know, that's a stage. And then there's maybe, hey, we're in a committed relationship. It's just you and me. And then there's another step forward from that. Like, how do you feel like
Why are
dating
you looking at
people?
me,
I'm
Neil?
just saying, both of you. You and Joe.
No.
No? Why do you say
Big
no, Joe?
X across the board. I feel like that's too much energy that you're putting out.
agree.
Too much time and effort into all these people, giving a lot of people false hope and temporary forevers. If you're going to talk to somebody, stick to that one person. That's how I see it. Because I can't see
Okay.
myself flirting around and texting all these different people like the same thing, or balancing so many people's schedules. And honestly, when I think about it in like the grand scheme of things, where somebody's gonna have to get booted off the show,
This is The Bachelor.
who's it gonna be?
Somebody's
So-
not
Rose
getting the
ceremony.
rose.
Exactly. So why do that when you can just focus on one? If that doesn't work out, then you move on.
Okay.
Period.
Okay, let me hear from Karen first. Let me hear from Karen first, and I'm going to chime in.
You know, I think some people may be cut out for it. I am not the one though. I don't enjoy dating, period, to be quite honest. But especially multiple people. I tried it one time. I remember I was talking to my mentor and I was complaining. I was like, man, you know, blah, 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 you know, nothing's going on, blah, blah, blah. And then like a month later, I came back to her and I was like, I got this dude over here and this dude over here and this dude over here and I can't handle it. And she was like, well, you were complaining about it. Now you got it. And I was like,
Bachelorette.
I don't want it. And, you know, they were all gone. I'm an analyzer. I'm a thinker. All these things. I've said it previously, and it's just too much for me. And
Yeah.
and I have a lot of heart, and so it's easy for me to get attached to people, and because I care so much, and so it's not for me.
So you don't like to diversify your portfolio.
You know, I'll talk to multiple people at
Okay.
the same time, but I don't really consider that dating them. It's just getting
Sure.
to know them
Yeah.
because I want to observe and get to know their character and who they are before I actually date them.
Gotcha.
So I'll be out there talking, but I'm not,
So
exclusive.
you're okay with getting to know people and so you have different relationships, but you're not necessarily dating them. It's saying, hey, we'll hang out, we'll get to know each other, and I'll hang out with somebody else, get to know them. And it's not like you're trying to have different situations purposely, but
Right.
you're just trying to get to know people and see if it's a potential to lead somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, they are dates technically. I mean,
Sure.
he's paying for my meal or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here trying to foot the bill or nothing, But so I mean, I do go out on dates with maybe one or two different people, different men, but it's not. I don't take it as serious until I get to know their character and who they are,
Gotcha.
and then if there's a match there, then I'll take it. If not, they just stay in that boat. If they got other people, they're talking to other women.
Yeah.
No, you want to stay right there.
I see. Okay. I do, find it difficult, that show, The Sister Wives or whatever, where the
Oh
guy,
my gosh.
he's married to like
What
four
do you
different
watch?
women.
No, I'm just kidding.
TLC, man.
TLC.
The Bravo, they always got the craziest stuff on there.
TLC
And I always look at this dude, I'm like, how do you do it, bro? Because, sometimes we, pitch something to a guy like, yeah, you're going to have 4 wives. Or you read the Bible, and they got wives and concubines and so on and so forth. It's like,
No.
oh, snap, really? And then you start thinking about it, it's like, you know what? That'd be crazy. Like, to manage 4 different women, like, at the same time, I say manage. I shouldn't say manage. Like, you know what I mean?
It's the truth. I mean, literally, that's really what it is.
But for real though, I mean, because different emotions, different times, different people, just different it's a lot.
I got something to say about this.
Oh.
I was talking to this dude one time, and we're still friends. We're cool to this day. But he was talking to me, and he was talking to several other women at the same time, and I was like, "How are you dealing with this? No wonder you're sick all the time. No wonder you're like upset all the time. Because if I'm pressing you, and you got 3 other women pressing you, then how do you manage that?
Yeah.
If I'm over here, saying, hey, don't do this, or what's going on here, or whatever it may be, and
Yeah.
you've got multiple women doing that, I don't understand how any man can handle that.
And
That's
it's
got to be
expensive, too.
stress.
That's a lot of
Right.
money.
It's gotta be expensive.
And that's why he broke.
We'll be on all walks of life.
That's for another podcast. We can talk about it another time.
That's facts though.
It's the truth.
I look at it like this. Well, I see it like this. It's almost like you're fishing, and you keep on pulling out bass. Mm-hmm. And then once you pull out that mermaid, that's it.
What lake are you fishing in?
Neverland. Honestly.
Facts though. Okay. So you value friendship.
Yes. Friendship
Absolutely.
first.
That's good.
the easiest way
That's good.
to know somebody.
And
to know
what
if
does friendship look like? Because I'm sure people are listening and they're like, okay, well, we could be friends, or how do we develop the friendship? Do we go out on group dates? Do we go out together? Do we talk, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you build, how did you build a friendship, Ryan and Sherrod?
Yeah, go ahead.
We've always, like we said at the beginning, we've been at the same church for so long, but we like never crossed paths. Well, we probably crossed paths, but we never paid attention to each other until we were like
It happens.
in our 20s. And then I think it happened after camp. We had a mutual friend who's like, Ryan, let's go out to eat. And Ryan was like, no, I'm tired. It's after camp. And then I was like, I'll go with you. And then he was like, Sherrod's going. And Ryan was like, I'll go. So
I am hungry. Like, I had to eat.
The guy's got to eat.
You got real hungry.
all of a sudden he was hungry.
thing happened.
I was like,
So like
pain
for a
in my
couple
stomach.
months, it was like the 3 of us were hanging out all the time. For me, it was a genuine friendship because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know that he liked me.
Right.
Well, he claims he didn't like me.
I knew
at
he liked
first.
you.
No,
I know. I
dang.
remember you said something.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh, did I?
Truth comes out.
I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, it was the 3 of us hanging out. So like we got to learn each other on a very like natural, like genuine friendship without it being like me trying to impress him. I don't know if he was trying to impress me, but he saw the real me from the jump. So
Yeah.
it helped for when we did start dating. He was like, I mean, I know you for the most part. Like, of course, I'll learn more about you as I get to know, like, grow to know you more. But he knew who I was as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good, in relationships when you're building that friendship. You're learning about yourself in that, but you're learning more so like about them, who they really are, as opposed to who they're putting on to be. Because when you're dating somebody, we're always trying to put our best foot forward. But when we're just being friends and we're hanging out and we're just building a relationship, I think you get more of the real person. So I think building a friendship is key to having a successful relationship. And Joe, did you find friendships, are they difficult to start with, to move into dating, or are they pretty easy for you?
Interesting question, Neil. Wow. I would say that sometimes when you meet somebody and you begin to talk to them and realize that you guys are better off as friends, it's a good thing. But then when you meet somebody and you guys are just start off as great friends and then it goes into something organically, that's what I would look for and want.
Yeah.
I feel like if you are in love with your best friend, that's the ideal place to be, because while you're friends with them, you get to know who they really are and not what they're like. You don't like them for like their gadgets and their clothes. You like them for who they are,
Right.
and you know them
Right.
like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
So then if you do want to go into a relationship, it's like I already know you, instead of like anything else, as if you just hop right into it and you got to know them and their whole process of how they think, how they operate by dating them.
Yeah.
Because then it might not work out.
Right. I think one of the dangers of that for people that want to date and don't want to be friends is that they'll get stuck in the friend zone. You know, Ryan came up with a great tag for we were gonna have this service about dating relationships, but we ended up not having it. But what was the name of that?
It was friend zone to end zone.
Friend zone to end zone.
Yeah.
And you know, so many of us get stuck in the friend zone, and we want to move to the end zone, which is maybe dating or engagement or a relationship and hopefully marriage. But it's tough, because if you get stuck in that friend zone, it's kind of like, oh man, we're good friends, but how do I turn the corner? Should I turn the corner? Will it ruin the friendship? You know? And those are real life things that we all have to think about. And but I think the most important thing is to build the friendship, because if you don't have a friendship, you don't really have a marriage. You don't really have a relationship.
Right.
Because when you're married, let me just give you some marriage advice. When you're married and, you know, the wedding day is over, you open the gifts, honeymoon's over, you have to look at each other for the rest of your life. And you got to be like, do I like this person? And how can I be the best version? How can I be the best person for my mate? How can I serve them? How can I put not my will, but you know, this person, God's will, but serving this person? It's a constant thing. And if you don't have a friendship, you just have somebody that you're attracted to, and you don't really have too much more than that, and that ends very quickly. So I'm glad you guys built a friendship. That's for sure. What do you guys hope marriage look like, by the way?
Like you were just saying, like Ryan is my best friend, so I want to just keep that. Like I feel like if we always have that, like despite anything else, I always have a friend in him.
Yeah.
So I really just hope to keep the friendship as great as it is now.
Yeah.
Really just like a team effort. Like I don't want it to be so separated, but I've never been married before, so I don't know what to expect.
Sure. It takes constant work. It's a great thing, but it takes constant works and tweaks and dying to yourself. I mean, every day, dying to yourself. And if you do that successfully, then you will have a successful marriage. But it's when we start taking up our own pride and saying, hey, I want this and I'm going to do it my way, or, you know, that's when you get into fighting and bickering and things of that nature. But it's like, you know, God, I want to serve my wife like Christ served us, the church. You know what I mean? And he's saying, hey, I want to serve my husband and be somebody that's, you know, committed and faithful, and we both submit. You know, it's a thing, not just the wife submits, the husband submits as well. You know, it's a constant a journey, and we never arrive, but we can always get better and grow. So I'm excited about that. But, you know, with dating and relationships, everybody has a different definition. But what I would strongly encourage you to do is get in the Word, see what the Bible says about dating. You know, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Don't lean to the culture. Don't lean to how maybe your relatives did it. Lean on the Word of God. Don't lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, God, and He will direct your paths. He'll make your path straight. And I think that's what we need definitely in this culture today, is for God to direct our paths and guide us to where we need to go. 3 takeaways for you. If you're in a relationship, if you're in a friendship, if you're dating, if you're engaged, you're married, 3 things you want to do. Number 1, have purpose. Have purpose. Why am I dating? Okay, just don't date to date. It's dangerous. Why am I dating? Have purpose. What's the goal in your dating? Are you dating just to date around? Are you dating to eventually get married? What's the purpose in your dating? And you want to find out, does he or she have the same purpose in their dating? Because if you have 2 different goals, then you're going to end up in 2 different places, and it's going to cause conflict. So number 1 is purpose. Number 2, have parameters, okay? Have boundaries set up, some guidelines, things you will do, things you won't do. It's a lot more difficult to make a decision when you're in the moment than when you're, preparing for dating. So if you're, watching a movie or something like that, if you know what you're going to do and what you're not going to do, then it makes it a lot easier once things maybe start getting a little steamy, you know what I'm saying? A little hotter and heavier, okay, this is what we do and this is what we don't do. You don't have to make that decision in the moment, because generally your body's going to tell you one thing and your mind's going to tell you another. So have some parameters, places you go, places you don't go, how to set yourself up for success. I think that's definitely key. And so purpose, parameters, and number 3, have people in your life that will tell you the truth. People that you can listen to. There's so many people that once they start dating somebody, they just go off on their own island, don't want to listen to anybody else. Oh, you don't know, you don't understand. I love him. It's kind of like, but you can't see from our vantage point of where that's going to end up. Have people that you love and trust, that have some godly wisdom, that say, hey, I would, keep this in mind. I will watch out for that. Or I would, ask this question. Those things are key to building a healthy relationship. Purpose, parameters, and people. And when you're thinking about, okay, should I even date this person? Look at your liabilities and your assets. Okay, you have to look at, is this person a liability, or is it this person an asset? Is this person stealing and robbing from me? Being a liability? Are they taking from me? Whether it's your peace, your joy, your money, okay, your time, your talent, your spirit. Do you feel drained every time you talk to that person? Do you feel down? Do you feel like, you can't do what God's called you to do? Or do you feel encouraged? Are they asset? They're adding value to you. They're, you reap great dividends from their being around them because you feel more on fire for God. Somebody's either pulling you away from God or pushing you towards God. And a lot of people have that question like, hey, should I date this person? Well, they believe in God. They're a kind of a Christian. But an easy, practical way is to say, hey, every day, are they pushing me closer to God in the things that we do, the things that we talk about, their encouragement, or are they pulling me away from God? It's very simple. And are they pushing me closer or pulling me away? And if they're pulling you away, then you kind of know, okay, this is probably not the relationship for me. If they're pushing you closer to God, then you take a step further and you investigate a little bit more, okay? So it's good to know if they're a liability or are they assets. Pastor talks recently about being faithful. You want somebody that's faithful to you. Number 1, you want somebody that's faithful to God, and then you want somebody that's faithful to you. And when you build these foundational things, it makes everything else a lot easier and you get more clarity. You don't have to walk around with confusion and be frustrated all your life. You can actually say, okay, these are simple things and guidelines that I go by. And then if we have this down, we can take another step forward into building a relationship. Yeah. So we're talking about dating and relationships, and I'm excited to see where God's taking your marriage. Yeah. Ryan and Sherrod, I know it's going to be awesome. I know God's going to do some really cool things in and through your marriage. There's a purpose for your marriage, and I believe that God's going to really bless it, and because you guys are doing it the way He wants you to do it. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Joe. Your journey in life. You're always moving and traveling, and you're meeting different people from different parts of the world. Excited to see what God's going to do in and through you, and not just to settle. And
me too.
Yeah, being a leader in relationships, and Karen.
That's right.
I'm excited to see what God's doing in your life and through your life, because you're a person that has things in line. You know your priorities. You know what you want. You can do a lot of things for yourself, but at the same time, you're not afraid to say, "Hey, come on to the team here and submit under God's mission." and submit under somebody else's mission that actually has a purpose. So I'm excited to see what God's going to do in and through both of you, and in your marriage as well. So if you have any questions, concerns, holler at us, hit us up, come visit Inspire. We would love to meet you, love to chat with you. We have Inspire the second Sunday of every month. You can hit us up on Instagram at inspire_COTR. But make sure you take a step further and take the next step, whether it's a growth track. Happens every Saturday and Sunday, 5 o'clock on Saturdays, 9 and 11 on Sundays. You can do it online. If you're looking to get water baptized, that's a great thing to do. You can do that at cotr.life. And if you're just looking to take the next step into a small group to get around and build some friendships and relationships, best thing you can do, because we are people that grow here. We're committed, we're confident, and we're confident in what God's going to do in and through our lives. We love you, thank you, and we'll see you next time.